That could also be one of the eye to be watched out by Team Malaysia. Now Argentina, they can even side out a little bit
Kita
more of the
masuk di
mid
game
laner, but they
kedua,
ended up
guys.
actually taking out Export.
I
Argentina
respect the export
versus
ban. Team
Malaysia.
Argentina picked it themselves into the CC and high lows earlier, so they're well aware that this
Perspektifnya
hero is a
Iesf.
good counter to multiple
Aneh
front
ya.
lines. I think that if they are
Hero
looking at
yang
this
di ban
direction, they should
Alice
probably
Esmeralda
also ban Ruby.
Lancelot
Since there's
Xbox,
already a Yi Sun Shin on Team
Gatot
Malaysia,
Kaca,
they can
Yabusa,
probably play
Yuzong,
double fight their side
Fredrin.
lane. Ruby is the best bet in the gold lane. Actually doesn't have too bad a time against the CC, so get rid of that as well. And that is indeed the Baxia ban. So Team Malaysia focusing on jungle.
Baxia.
A lot of the jungles, assassin
Baxia
heroes
di
already
ban.
been taken out, giving more of smaller pools to be picked out by Team Argentina. Again, mid laner is still open here for Team Malaysia, so they can just cut it out even more further. So Farsa will be taken out into the portion.
I feel like this should just be a Ruby then for Team Malaysia. It would be pretty safe since no other mid laners are going to be contested anymore. Unless they are worried about another potential lane dominator, in which case they can actually leave this Lapu as flex, grab their mid lane first, and then go for their gold lane last. So that means that Ruby has the potential to be stolen away by Argentina. And with the tanks already taken out, they are probably going into an assassin. So Ruby is quite valuable here.
Let's see, are they going to actually pick up Ruby for themselves? Because if they actually let that go, it could actually lead to another falter for Team Malaysia, a risky drafting. But no,
Wow,
they ended up
Jushin.
picking up Jushin for the mid lane.
Going Zeus in first, so there is a potential of Argentina taking the Ruby away right now. Zeusin means that Team Malaysia is going to be lacking a little bit of damage overall and doesn't have as much a mid lane priority against Eve Hylos. That is something that Team Argentina might be able to take advantage of. It means that they can actually ignore the Zeusin entirely and play a similar style to what Team Malaysia did in Game 1, going for full fighters and just hard diving into the team composition of their opponent.
I am not really in the favor of Jushin to be picked up here. I mean, like, Kimi was still open though. If they want to,
I agree.
right? Because they have actually a lot more ways with Kimi to be picked up here for the mid lane. We have a lot of damage to be given out as well from the start, as well as to the end of the game. But now coming in, Argentina will definitely pick up not only Ruby, but Joy as their own jungler now. This is somehow, I feel like a little bit more of Serena coming in from Argentina itself.
Joy.
So Malaysia, last pick.
Yeah, I feel like the Zeusin was a bit of a mistake from Team Malaysia here, unless they're hiding some kind of secret strategy in the back. But going for Ruby there would have not only not denied it away from Team Argentina, would have been a way to make them hesitate about going for Joy, because then Team Malaysia would have had good crowd control. Now Team Malaysia is lacking crowd control. They're lacking a hero with good flexibility in the gold lane. They'll probably have to lean back into a marksman, because I don't think there's a lot of good fighter gold lanes left in the draft. But they also need crowd control to handle this Joy. Looks like it is going to be a glue. So that's a Lapu gold.
Oh, wow. This is beyond what we are expecting here from the team of Malaysia. But then again, maybe they have something that we do not see just yet, because we did talk about how sometimes Malaysia can adapt very, very quickly and they have a surprise element on their side. But on the side of the drafting wise, I do feel like Argentina have already read, and again, one step ahead just a little bit from the team of Malaysia.
I still feel like that Zeusin fourth pick was a
I
mistake.
know, right?
It should have been Ruby. It would have looked so much better if they had the Ruby on their lineup, and then we go for something like a Lunox would have been perfectly fine. Then the damage is really, really solid on the side of Team Malaysia. But that means that Team Argentina might be able to take advantage of that lapse in judgment here. Looking at their draft overall, they've got a lot of damage scaling potential. Looks like it is going to be a Ruby Gold CC EXP, which means that they actually don't have too bad of a matchup into the glue either. And Team Malaysia is once again going to need to be the ones that set the momentum.
Yep, but that is it. We are going to see what is going to happen with this second round. If Team Malaysia can close it out, this is going to be the end for Argentina. But unless Argentina have a say for it, welcome to WAC 2025 lower bracket quarterfinals.
Will Team Malaysia be able to secure yet another clean sweep in their journey to the end of WEC? Or will we closing out with a full series once again after the first one happened at the start of day number 3? Team Argentina, their backs against the wall. They do not want to end their journey here.
The fact that right now we are seeing a lot of invasion coming in from Team Argentina. That little wonder can do a lot of wonders right here for Team Argentina, and no denies whatsoever coming in from Team Malaysia as well, because they are going to actually do a little bit of stunning here for Team Honey, but Honey may actually overextend too much. Drags miss, but it will not get any casualty whatsoever.
Yeah, that mighty swing actually ended up not being as good because it pushed the Hylos out of tower range, but I can see the idea they were going for. It probably wouldn't have gotten the kill anyway, so it's still fine. But we can see that so far, we're not going to have too much trading. I imagine that with the compositions we're looking at here, with both teams going double fighter side, we're only really going to see a proper exchange around that first turtle.
Let's see how much they can actually focus out for their own lane, right? So far, rotation-wise, both of them know that they can actually have their own counters, but the question is who will be disciplined enough to set things up before the turtles spawn out. Let the rapid be put out just to divide things out right here. They will not be able to actually have so much of the success of the scrimmage itself. It's just a poke and tease between each other, but Rina is setting up already for the turtle, and they're doing it really as fast as possible. But coming on right now, Neo comes in, Mountain comes through, able to actually take down the turtle before any casualty goes into the hands of Argentina.
Good control and good decision to just blitz the turtle. They are aware that Miyuki was not around, so just commit to it. It was very close though. Neo actually got a really nice burst in onto the Yi Sun Shin, and if Rina was not careful, could have actually been taken out there. But that's going to be a small early advantage for Team Malaysia.
I mean, they lost something, but they gained something. So this is kind of like, you gotta do something to sacrifice. And no pain, no gain. So pretty much this is what Malaysia is thinking about. But then again, is it gonna be enough? So far, when it comes to the gaps of the economy-wise, it's not that big. So still, this is going to be on a par that Team Malaysia needs to do better to fight off with Team Argentina. But on the side of Argentina, they're controlling very good.
Yeah, the conditions here for this game are actually kind of similar to game number 1, where Team Malaysia is once again highly reliant on basically one main damage dealer. In this case, it is going to be Rina, so they're not depending on a fighter to do so. But in comparison, Team Argentina has a lot of DPS.
Aftershocker comes in, Neo been dragged out by that grab. Still goes in for the diving, shuts down Neo immediately, but now Miyuki comes over with the electrifying beat, doesn't get anything for the trade, drags out by Honey immediately, but will they actually get two? Nope, it's only enough for one sacrifice right here.
That's a bit unfortunate. Miyuki didn't have electrifying beats off cooldown, only just got it now, but it's too late, and she's gonna get punished for it.
He's just going to get punished for it, and this is going to give a lot of the goal defense here in the hands of Team Malaysia. Great diving. Even Rizal right now trying to do a little bit of overextension to clear out the minions in the side lanes, and somehow Yuki will be able to deny that. Goes in for the ultra rapid, but Riza goes out away.
Having to force the flicker though, really nice wall placement coming out from Yuki. We can see Malaysia able to play a lot more aggressively now that they have a hero like a Grok. Ooh,
the RWM just close enough to get a hold of Honey, but she managed to move away quickly.
Oh, now Mountain Shock are going to be used. Team Malaysia sees where Team Argentina are and are well aware that most of them are hovering around the mid to top side for this next turtle. A lot of cooldowns being spent. With Rina still going to be focusing on farming that orange buff as well. So far, no eyes on Miyuki. Team Malaysia hasn't seen the joy just yet.
Let's see. So far movement in right now, the teams are just trying to actually scatter things around. Honey finding a way to just move the Argentina area from the turtle tip, but at the same time, they're gonna actually go for the chase. Courier pathway been picked up right here. Going to go all out, but that only charge comes through. Does get the 3 players, and now Riza shuts down Honey first of all, but they're going in for the counter attack, and Mabar just goes in for the fight. Rina takes down with Yuki, being taken out by Miyuki instead, but that's gonna be 2 piece for 1.
A good initiation coming in from Team Argentina there. They saw that Hani was completely out of position, isolated as the Zeus in on the opposite side of the river, and so they decided to make the full commit. We saw a really nice tectonic charge come out of Yuki, but the damage was not quite there because the fight had occurred too quickly and the Zeus in was already taken out of it. Because of that, Argentina now finding a little bit more ground back in their favor, though Team Malaysia still not relinquishing control over that turtle.
Not much of the follow-up that is required from Team Malaysia right now. They gotta do more. At least those are the crucial things that can actually put a lot of gap between them here with Team Argentina. Team Malaysia, yes, they found the answer, but at the same time, it kind of falters in the hands of Argentina. Now, pushing in right to the minion waves of mid lane, trying to make sure that at least they have that discipline to get that push going on.
The target of Team Argentina is going to 100% be Rina on this Iesf Shin. Currently 3-0 and the main win condition for Team Malaysia.
Goes in for the tectonic charge, gets through, but at the same time, Neo will be able to take down Honey first of all. Goro pathway shuts down, but Riza just down Yuki as well. That's going to be 2 piece. Rina did manage to actually trade off with Yuki, but it's just going to be enough for the players of Malaysia to just skirt away. Now, Neo comes in, goes in for the yo-yo, just managed to take down shot by Neval instead. So it's going to be 3 piece for 1 now.
That's definitely not worth it for Team Malaysia right there. And we are starting to hit the point in the game where the flaws in their draft are once again showing themselves. Rina is the only consistent source of damage. Even if they're able to get a good catch to start the fight, Team Argentina can just run them down because almost every single hero on their lineup has good DPS output. Because of that, Hani just cannot survive a lot of the time to actually get multiple sources of CC. And Team Malaysia needs to delay fights for as long as possible so that Rina can slowly take targets out one by one.
A lot of the follow-ups is not really in par right now. Team Malaysia, a little bit response are delayed to a point that follow-up is too late for them to get that composure. And especially the fact that Argentina, they see how that reflections is just not good enough. They ended up backfired it to the side of Team Malaysia. So now let's see if Malaysia can have a better setup compared to what they did so far. A little bit of mistakes can actually do a lot of wonders if they learn it all.
And now Team Argentina, they're gaining control over the turtle. They did actually get a flicker out of Neval quite early there. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they're ganking Neo. They get the kill, but they know Rina is not at the turtle now.
Now, Turtle will be able to take it out by Argentina because of the fact, but at the same time right here, Miyuki will be grabbed right here by the side of Shah, but is it going to be enough though? Goes in for the tectonic touch. RWM been picked up. Mabar takes down Miyuki immediately with the core power been put out, but now Miz left all alone with Frieza. Never trying to do as much damage from behind, but somehow it's not going to be enough. Right here goes in for the pack, but Shah goes for the sprint press, surviving it out again. Grab to Riza, yet they're not doing as much casualty, but it's enough for the damage because they are doing a split push down below.
Oh, Shah was such an MVP in that fight right there, and that basically went exactly how Team Malaysia was hoping for it to occur. They had their jungler in the bot lane, they split push, they got the entire lane of towers, and they actually managed to kill off Miyuki as well to make the turtle take more difficult. This lineup from Team Malaysia actually does work if the conditions line up, and Team Argentina need to be aware of that.
Forcing their way in straight away to the side of Argentina. That is what is needed right here for Team Malaysia. The brute force, the counters they are already setting up, making sure that Argentina doesn't found the answer for them to actually go back and react perfectly. By the same time, right here goes in for the tectonic charge into the diving composition. Goro Pirate been picked up right here so that they can actually have a way to surrender, but RWM been picked up. Yuki trying to survive it out, but comes in with the bravest fight that can actually pull through, but Yuki having the danger zone right here will be denied immediately by Riza, but now they're trying to push in away from the side of the Yo-Yo Neo. Now coming in from Malaysia, that setup was a failure, but they did pick up Neo immediately for the trade.
Our Team Argentina needs to stop taking these really extended fights unless they know they can take out the Iesf Shin. They need to be aware that Rina is their main target. They spent so much time just picking off Yuki, and then they end up trading their own EXP laner for it. That still ends up being worth it for Team Malaysia. At the very least, the goal difference is not that big yet though. This could still go either way, but the way that Team Argentina needs to play to come back into this is to pick off this Iesf Shin.
Again, a lot of the ganks that was done by Team Malaysia has been very, very fruitful now. Starting out the dance already here for the Lord Pit. Team Malaysia does not waste any time, denying it with the Ilta Rap that been put out by Yuki, and they get the Lord freely, zoning perfectly done. But at the same time, Miyuki gets a little bit of steal here, but at the bottom turret itself.
I think it is the correct decision. After that previous exchange, Team Argentina is aware that a direct fight is a bit difficult right now. They need a little bit more more damage on their side, especially to take down this glue. So they'll give up the tower, and in order to get some structures, Team Malaysia is gonna try and up the ante.
So far right now, we are seeing a lot of the good answers coming in from Team Malaysia. Argentina been pushed just a little bit further, but if they can actually find a way to actually seclude some of the players of Malaysia, that could be a good positioning for them to just counter back, go back into the area where Team Malaysia was not aware of. Because so far right now, with them working together, countering as a four-man, it is difficult for Argentina to move around. Without the Urchin Rampage, doesn't get the tectonic charge, but then again, it's just to set it up so that they can actually get the middle turret.
And now the Lord is going to be pushing in. Still the first Lord of the game, and every single holy defense is still intact. So Team Argentina should be able to defend this without too much problem. Team Malaysia gonna play this safe as well. They obviously cannot dive here.
Cannot dive in. This is the discipline that is required for Team Malaysia. Even now, they are just trying to actually push all the minutes. This is the wave that is required for Team Malaysia to put so much pressure to Argentina to just hide it out under their own base now. They're trying to actually tease away that holy defense at the top lane, but I don't think Argentina will allow it.
Thing is, it'll go away by itself in about 5 seconds anyway, so doesn't make too much of a difference there. And at the very least, Team Argentina won't have to deal with too much more structural damage. Now though, they are going to be limited to their base, and they still ideally need a little bit more farm before they can truly come online. They gotta be able to take these fights on their own terms. So far, Team Malaysia has been the ones starting them, has been the ones countering them, has been able to keep Rina largely alive, and this is where the majority of their damage comes from. I think at this point, Team Argentina might just have to die for the Yisan Shin regardless.
RWM been put out just to actually hold out the positioning of Team Malaysia. Miyuki, nowhere to be found, finally goes in to join the party right here as they go in for the tectonic charge. Doesn't get anyone, but the turret does move in right here for the team of Malaysia. Now Miss comes in with the glory pathway, doesn't catch anyone. Shah just managed to actually skirt away with Honey, trying to catch up with Riza, but doesn't actually manage to pull through as Team Malaysia, they fall back as a discipline honor.
Yeah, really good resource usage from Team Malaysia. Just throw everything you can against the wall to get that structure, because you know that Team Argentina doesn't really have the cooldowns needed to punish you for overextending. That is one inhibitor already taken down. And we're approaching 13-minute mark. Next Lord is going to be up soon. Goal difference still isn't very big, but map control is making a big difference. And the overall durability of Team Malaysia is just overpowering the damage output of Argentina, which honestly is rare nowadays, considering the meta now is all about DPS.
But it seems that Miyuki is desperate, trying to go all the way out to Farfao as well as Honey, but then again, it could be just a waste of skill sets right here from the side of Team Argentina. Rina already starting the dance right here with the Lord, and it seems that Team Argentina is going to actually just give it all out to Malaysia, because this is actually a good decision for them, because more of this can actually be countered as they actually set up for the last defense if they can do so.
Team Argentina wanted to walk up just to get some kind of vision so that they can maybe see how far Malaysia are into whittling down the Lord HP. But Yuki standing there and dropping walls in their faces is not allowing them to walk up even into their own jungle. Malaysia's not even trying to go for the punish. They're just zoning. They're just making sure they can't get anywhere close, so the Lord goes to them for free. It's going to be pushing down the bot lane. There's only 2 inhibitors left standing, and there's no more holy defense for Team Argentina to work with. Once again, they need to find Rina. If they're not able to take out this Yisan Shin, there is no way back into the game for them.
Minion comes into the mid turret right here as they try to clear things out. They know for a fact Lord is coming in from the bottom. They care make sure that they open as well for the top turret. But at the same time, they're prioritizing right here for their crystal. They know for a fact there's going to be a backdoor if they actually deny it. But RWM been put out just a little bit too early on. Shah managed to go through, but Glory Pathway doesn't catch anyone. And Team Malaysia falls back easily without any casualty. But here on out, it seems like Fafao goes in for the diving. Doesn't meet anyone, goes in for the Fire-Risk Fighter, but doesn't catch anyone. Neo comes in for the curtain call, but is it going to be enough? Winter Crown has already been opened, but at the same time, grab straight to Riza, but it's just Team Malaysia teasing off Team Argentina, and now they're backing up, but BUK once more goes in for the electrifying bit, doesn't get anyone. Instead, those damages are just all the way full usage coming into Team Malaysia.
Good positioning there from Team Malaysia, but also a good defense from Team Argentina. They're just blowing their cooldowns because they know they have to spend everything to make sure they lose as little as possible. taking out that Lord, only losing one inhibitor is probably the best case scenario that could have happened for them. Team Malaysia still doing a very good job of keeping their DPS safe. As long as that front line remains intact, there's not much that Argentina is going to be able to do, and Cha especially has become an absolute monster in the front line. Just impossible to remove her.
The fact that right now we are solely depending on the damage right here in the hands of Rina itself, it shows how much of Malaysia prioritized the defense and the safetyness of Rina to be surviving until they be able to actually spot out any of the loopholes that Argentina will put out. Team Argentina, on the other note, no matter how much they try to go into the backline, will be denied completely. And looking on the damage-wise, we do see that at least Neo can pull through a lot of skill set to the side of Team Malaysia. But then again, Miyuki, as the sole one that needs to go into the backline, cannot do so.
I don't think Miyuki alone is gonna be enough. You have to
Right.
actually send Miyuki and Neo and have them both focusing down Rina for anything to actually happen, which is possible, but it depends on the rest of Team Argentina actually distracting Team
Mending
Malaysia. And so
tunggu
far,
sih guys sampai
their
menit
composure has been
18.
strong. The host country buff looking pretty good right now, looking pretty comfortable. You can tell that the momentum from game number 1 is allowing them to make very snap decisions very quickly.
Satu
Let's
menit,
see.
satu
They
menit
are
tunggu,
trying to
tunggu.
actually divide and conquer. Neo goes into Hani first of all. RWM being picked up. A lot of separate fights come through right here as Mountain Chakra been put out by Rina. But Miyuki still managed to pull through now. They're going to actually grab
Nice,
Miyuki immediately by
okay.
Rina himself. And now miss on the loose right here by tagging along by Shah himself. Denying any entrance. It's a weapon been put out right here. But Shah will be taken out by IF offended. But she's surviving out. All those heroes has been
Selamat ya.
dragged out by Riza. Will not be enough. She managed to survive all of it. Now Fafa goes in for the bravest fighter. Does not manage to actually get enough damage for their side, but they still manage to always secure the immortality. But here comes along, all the mistakes is done. Argentina comes through with Rina being shut down. All the overextension, Argentina comes in.
That's a bit of a mistake by Team Malaysia, but I also think it might have been an executive call. They saw all 3 waves pushing into the base, and they're just basically trying to keep Team Argentina here for as long as possible. But by doing so, dive too deep to make it happen. Rina has actually gone down. That is actually shutdown gold now claimed by Team Argentina. Another 20 seconds before the Malaysian jungler will be able to return to actually contest the Lord as well. But Argentina is still going to be scrambling to keep their base intact. They'll keep Miz back at home, but they still have all of their other members. I think Team Argentina will actually grab an objective here.
Yeah, this Lord will definitely be in the hands of Argentina. Shah, no matter how
Malah
much
dapat
long she can be
Argentina
able
lagi,
to
Lord.
zone it out, it's not going to be
Menit
enough for
18.
Team Malaysia to actually neutralize the situation.
Ah,
But
bisa
again,
comeback
to
ini.
depend on that pushing, all the wave coming in, is a little bit too risky for the team of Malaysia. But yes, we do see that the base is already
Janganlah satu sama,
open, bare
makin
for the Team
lama
Malaysia
lagi,
to just
so.
push on and give more pressure to Argentina.
They do end up getting the last inhibitor out of it, but I agree, I don't think it was really worth it for Team Malaysia. It was a good call, but the way they executed on it needed a little bit of work. Again, protecting Yi Sun-shin should have been the main concern, but Rina dived way too deep, and in fact nearly died 1v1 to Miyuki because she looked for the fight herself when the fight started. Now, in an instant, Team Argentina has actually reversed the flow. They have the slight goal lead, though it doesn't really matter too much at this point, but they have the Lord, and they're gonna be starting to threaten the side of Team Malaysia's map.
Going into the top all together right here, making sure that they can actually steal one turret after another right here, going to
Nice,
clear
Lord
off the
Mentora.
Lord Rina all by herself, but still they managed to actually have a really defense hole against Argentina. Malaysia somehow, they need to step back. They need to actually readjust all the mistakes they've done. That divide that was done by Team Argentina was what made them a little bit falter. But RWM been put on right here at the mid turret just to scare away the Team Malaysia. But no one gets in. No setup can be done for Team Argentina. But at the end of it all, Miyuki gets that turret. But it goes in for the fight right here. As Tectonic Charge comes through, gets 2 players. But is it going to be enough? Glory Power been put out. Rina could not actually finish off Riza at the moment. And Miyuki comes in to end it off with the Electrify and Beast takes down Shah immediately and now pushing for more. 4 players still surviving though, but Team Malaysia said fall back.
Okay, actually engaging there is a good call from Team Malaysia, but they also scattered a little bit too much. And now we're hesitant to dive too deep with their main DPS. And here, now that we're 20 minutes in, Malaysia is going to realize it's actually kind of hard to take these team fights because the glue no longer survives as long as it used to. You only have one source of DPS, so you gotta keep her safe, especially since she just lost her entire gold bounty before that. Argentina kind of stayed weirdly long around that mid-tier 2 and popped the RWM very early for no real reason. That's why Malaysia was able to engage in the first place. The damage is adding up. Most of the cores will have full build. They actually do a lot of damage, which means that Malaysia's composition is going to drop off hard.
This is the 4th Lord. It cannot mess this up. It is an enhanced Lord to be precise. So Miyuki already started the dance right here, and it seems that Team Malaysia just trying to overlook, trying to find a way. Neo will be able to zone out, but Fafao, no, my life has already been depleted because of the fact that Fafao having a secure, but at the same time, separate fight comes through with the RWM and the Glory Pathway. Here on out, Miyuki doing some damage to Shah as well as and the fact that right now they're doing a lot of damage on the side lane where Yuki goes in for the tectonic charge, but it's still not going to be enough as Rina had to pull through. So Honey had to be taken down by Neval first of all. Shah comes in, had to be stress spread, but goes in for the grab to Neo. Is it going to be a good zoning? But this is going to be an opportunity for Miyuki to just get the lot for herself.
I'm kind of surprised that Rina didn't follow up on that fight there. Yes, you got punished earlier for diving in, but this time you have 2 frontliners to buy space for you. They could have gotten a kill, but look, they're sending Rina to try and push up the top lane.
Let's see if she can be able to do so, fighting off 1v1 with Hylos itself, but the Lord has already been taken out by Miyuki. Still, Rina could not do anything. Now they're pushing off for more. At the moment, Papa had to run away, but Riza gets Yuki for the kills, and at the moment right now, Team Malaysia had to step back.
Ooh, that's a bit of a missed call right there, and I'm honestly surprised that Rina wasn't able to kill Miz 1v1. If they did, that would have been a guaranteed game win right there, but Team Argentina had enough faith in their Hylos that she would be able to hold the line. And Team Malaysia are now officially on the back foot. Another Lord is going to be pushing up. They only have 4 towers left. Once their base starts looking empty, it's going to be very difficult for them to defend this. This may actually be the start of a reversal for Team Argentina.
The micromanagement that is done by Argentina, just making sure all the push can be secured, can be cleaned up by their side so that they cannot have any pressure to their own crystal. Making sure that they can actually also fight it off for the team fight shows how much they are very disciplined. They clear out that mid turret itself, so making sure that they can actually go in straight for the inhibitor turret. But now, Team Malaysia, they're gonna do more. They're gonna make sure that their setup is good for the defense as the Lord marching in. Somehow, Team Argentina waiting for the right time. Still have that ability because they managed to actually just shoo away the team because that Earthen Rapid. But now jumps in the Lord. Glory Pathway been put out right here. Shah as the front liner with tectonic charge does manage to take 2, but somehow the grab comes in with this, just trying to barely to survive it out, but still going to be enough though. They did manage to secure it out. Yuki in trouble. Shah will be taken out by Neo instantly. Now Fafao just doing so much damage, but still not going to be enough. Will be also shut down by Miyuki himself, leaving only 3 players. Honey barely survived. He had to go to the fountain, but Rina been caught off guard and now leaving only the crystal to be fed for herself. And Honey, unfortunately, could not do anything, just barely see it alive. This is going to be a crystal in the hands of Argentina.
Team Argentina managed to persevere their way through that game, even though the odds of the world appeared to be against them. But unfortunately for Team Malaysia, I have to say that is the definition of a throne game. They had every